Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformations. Here is your host, Shawn Douglas.
Good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. I'm your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and author, Shawn Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 74 countries. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to us for some time, I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here is where we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use this to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I ask that you join our Facebook community, Life Transformation Radio Community, and you can ask questions to the guests I bring on the show, and you can interact with other listeners from around the world. I ask that you subscribe and leave us a rating or review wherever it is that you listen to shows. Our show is available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, Castbox, the Google Play Music app. Basically, wherever it is that you listen to shows, you can hear us on Life Transformation Radio. My guests are entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, coaches, podcasters, authors, basically amazing people impacting the world around them. And my guest today does exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, call us up at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. That, please help me welcome to the show my guest for today, Krystyna Lennon. Welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on the show. We're going to have a lot of fun, and it's a very interesting topic, and I don't think I've really had anybody on the show that does what you do, so this is going to be pretty cool for me.
No. Yeah, it's an unusual one. I give you that.
Right. And you're right now calling in from the UK. Is that right?
I am in, yes, Leeds in Yorkshire, UK.
It is pretty late over there because it's only, 5, almost 6 o'clock here. So it's got to be almost 11 over there.
That's right. Yep. Nearly ready for my bed.
I won't keep you long. So the title of this show is Becoming a Hypnotizing Speaker with world-renowned hypnotist and speaker, Krystyna Lennon. She is a world-famous, world-renowned hypnotist, television personality, author, keynote speaker, and media source. For over 20 years, she has also worked as an executive coach and hypnotist for a private client base. In 2015, Krystyna, a single parent, executive coach, decided to help others boost her business. She first needed to challenge herself to tackle her own limiting beliefs. Already qualified in hypnotherapy, she decided to become a stage hypnotist with an aim at speaking in front of as many people as possible. Armed with a killer USP, Hypnodog, Krystyna managed to drum up media and TV interest before she'd even learned the craft. Krystyna's first performance was filmed by a press agency. Her second performance was filmed by German TV. And her third performance was for Britain's Got Talent in front of 1,500 people, viewed by 11 million when it aired, and further 25 million to date. Since then, Krystyna has appeared on 40 TV shows worldwide, including China, Russia, and America, and has earned the title the world's best hypnotist. Hypnotized celebrities such as Simon Cowell, Drew Barrymore, James Corden, Anton Deck, Loose Women. Awesome. Outstanding. So connect with her at Krystyna, Krystyna, Lennon, Lennon, Krystyna Lennon and go to KrystynaLennon.co.uk. Her LinkedIn and Facebook profile is right there in the show notes. And so I gotta ask, why? Like, what is your why for what you do?
What is my why? Wow. My why is to make a better life, I suppose, for myself and my children. Single parent to 3 children, and I think having a child so young, I was only 17 when I had my first child. I feel like you've got
Mm-hmm.
something to prove, or people expect you to fail. So it was sort of my mission to make sure I didn't.
Wow. That's,
So, yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. It's actually very simple. Like, I could totally get behind that. But why? I mean, you chose hypnotism. Like, was there like an interest in it, or was it like, what happens if
Well,
I can hypnotize people to do certain things, or like, is it really? Because you know how, like, I know a guy, Marshall Silver,
I've heard of
awesome,
him, yeah.
awesome hypnotist, awesome
Hmm.
speaker, and I've seen him in action, and it is something really to watch.
It's
At the
crazy,
same
isn't
time,
it?
I also see people, right? I also see people, oh, whatever, it's not real. Like, I'll 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 prove it's not real. You know what I mean? Or they think that like
Hmm.
magicians and hypnotists always have to have an audience plant, right? Like they're just
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
along with that person. So was it like, I want to see if this is a for real thing?
It was funny because I started out as a therapist, and the only reason why I started out as a therapist was because I couldn't deal with people's emotions. I wasn't very good. I've got one of those faces that people approach and speak to about their problems, but I could
Mm-hmm.
never deal with anybody's emotions. If somebody cried, I'd just want to run. So I started as a counselor, a psychotherapist, and
Right.
when I was pregnant on my son, who is now, how old is he? 24. I met a hypnotist who said he would hypnotize me to have a pain-free birth. And I thought it was a bit crazy, but I was terrified, so I thought I'd give it a go. And I was absolutely blown out of the water. It was amazing. And since then, well, shortly after that, I had another 2 sessions for passing my driving test and for having a tooth out without anaesthetic. And it was just it was just mind blowing. So I thought I need to be able to do this. So I trained as
Wow.
a hypnotherapist originally.
That's that's insane.
Yeah,
Like, holy smokes.
yeah,
So
it's
cool. I wish I had, like, I don't know, like I'm a speaker and very
mhm.
energetic, very entertaining, and I've watched a lot of the different, like the hypnotists and the different things, and it's the coolest thing. It's definitely different, and it's definitely, it shouldn't be done by everybody, but when you can figure it out, man, I
Yeah,
mean, it's amazing.
yeah. I mean, it's great to watch, and I do shows. I do a lot of shows, and I've done a lot of TV shows around the world. Um, but I prefer using hypnosis to do some good. I help a lot of people with their business to change their mindset or their beliefs where their business are concerned, rather than just sort of making somebody think they're a chicken or something silly
Right.
like that. I prefer to do the serious stuff, to be honest. But being on TV shows around the world put me on a platform to be able to, reach more people. So one kind of helps the other.
Mhm.
So yes,
Yep.
yeah,
I,
the shows are
I
really
bet
fun.
you could. I bet you could, like, make them act like a chicken, though. I mean, that'd be a pretty cool skill.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
you know what I mean? Like if you're like, so if I had skill, I have a 5-year-old. I'm like, look, 5-year-old, You clean your room. I'm going to make
Yeah.
you
Oh,
cook
I
like
do.
a chicken.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it to my kids their whole life. They've always been hypnotized by me. But my kids know, like, the thing with hypnosis is the more you are hypnotized, the better and the better you are at it, the easier you go under. So my kids now, I can just approach them and I just go, look at me, and if I click my fingers, they're out. But
Oh, wow.
as, as soon as I approach them and say, look at me, they just run.
Right? It's like, okay, it's time for bed.
They know
Mom, time for bed. Snap. Sleep. Like, your bedtimes are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you should
Well,
be the super nanny. Like, you know how you
yeah,
see that super nanny show? Like, you need to go in
yeah,
there and just sleep. Okay, there you go. I'm
yeah.
out.
It's funny because when I was training as a hypnotherapist, you had to practice. So I used to practice on the kids. You know, they never got a nighttime story. They got a hypnosis session going to bed. So they'd have a magic carpet ride or something like that going to bed.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So the show is all
Yeah.
about transformation, and I don't believe that life is all sunshine and rainbows. Talk about your transformation. Talk about where you started from, and that moment that you knew like this is it. This is the moment. There's always that one moment that transforms your life into what you're doing today. So talk about that. What's your transformation moment that put you on the path to what you're doing?
Yeah, I had, I'd sort of, as I say, I'd had a child young. Well, I've got three children, but I'd got pregnant at 17. I'd been in two violent, abusive relationships.
Wow.
I'd suffered with anxiety. I'd been homeless. I'd lived in a women's refuge. And all of that kind of makes you feel quite ashamed and um, it's really sort of, it affects your self-worth and leaves you with a lot of limiting beliefs. And
Yep.
I did I didn't follow my hypnotherapy or my coaching career because of those limiting beliefs. I just thought, who am I to be able to help these people? And I was working as a business development manager. I don't know what you call it in the US. Like a sales role, field sales. And
Okay.
I was given back, dismissed me because of my poor sales, because it wasn't something I was passionate about. So I'd been faced, I had a month left with a company car and a month's pay, and I had no job. And I'd promised my kids that year that I'd take them to see my brother who'd moved to Australia. I hadn't seen him for 8 years at that point, and they hadn't seen their cousins. So I'd lost my job. I'd made this big promise to the kids, and I felt absolutely awful. And a friend suggested to me, why don't you do a stage show? I was already a trained hypnotherapist.
Hmm.
And as soon as he said it, he said, he'd retired and he had an amazing career, an amazing show. And he says, why don't you do it? And I said, me? I can't do that. No way. I could never stand on a stage and speak in front of people. And it was that moment, really, I thought, wow, that's a limiting belief. And the next day I went to the job centre, where you go to sort of sign on for Social Security.
Oh yeah.
And I just thought, no. Somebody gave me that look that I got of people when I was 17 and pregnant, a look of disgust, and it made me feel awful. And I just thought, no way. So I went home and I did a hypnosis session with myself, recorded a session, give myself some self-belief and tackled those limiting beliefs, made myself feel confident. And I rung round a few of my friends' connections that he used to, book shows with. And over the next month, I made calls every day and I managed to get 6 bookings.
Wow.
So I had 6 bookings, and it was coming towards the end of, my time with my company car was going. My last wage had been and gone, and I managed to get 8 grand in with these 6 bookings. So I went off to Australia for a month.
Awesome.
Took my kids on the holiday that I'd promised them, spent all the money. And when I came back then, I thought, right, now I had 2 weeks before my first show, and I still didn't actually know how to be a stage hypnotist. So I'd backed myself into a corner, really. I had to sort of come out fighting. I had to do this. My first show was an absolute disaster. It got cancelled halfway through. My second show got cancelled because of it was actually a vegan sound engineer that wouldn't work with me because I work with a dog. And then the first ever show that I did was filmed by the media. And that went, the next day, that went viral around the world. It was in every newspaper in the UK. And I think it even made the Hollywood Times. It literally went all over the world. And a German TV show got in touch. Britain's Got Talent got in touch. And it just blew up from there, really. And before you knew it, I was on, different TV shows all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite a journey.
Oh, I bet. And I've seen a lot of those, and it's really something to watch. I just love watching those. The America Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent, like all of them. Fascinated by the people that come on the show. It's not like the old American Idol where it was like, you really suck at singing.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't do. And then Simon's like, that was awful. Like when you watch America's Got Talent, everybody's amazing. They don't show a lot of the garbage like with America's Got Talent or American Idol or whatever. That's what I like about the show. They show a couple like people getting kicked off, you know what I mean? Like, oh God, that sucks. Like, what are you doing? Get out of here. But it wasn't like, that before.
I
really enjoy the acts that come on there.
Yeah, it's got kinder, I think, because at one point it used to help with ratings to sort of make fun of people. But I think now we're in an age where you can't do that anymore. People are more aware of other people's feelings and mental health. So now they're a little bit kinder, luckily.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So now that you got on the shows, got your name out there, you're crushing it, you're doing well, speaking, doing the hypnotist. I mean, you have a niche, in like hypnotism. Like it's different when you're like, oh, I'm a speaker, but you're like, no, I'm a hypnotist who is a speaker, and it's entertaining, right? And that gets you booked all the time. The people who are just speakers have a harder time building businesses than the people who are magicians who speak, and hypnotists who speak, and our sales professionals who speak, right?
Yeah.
So how do you elevate the world around you?
I think it's different in America because in the UK, hypnotists don't work as much, anywhere near as much. The UK don't see hypnosis the way that America does. So it's quite widely accepted in America. I've realised that. And hypnotists over there work all the time. In the UK, hypnosis is a struggle. People aren't as open to it. So it's not as easy as you'd think. And if I was in America, I would be working constantly. I did a hypnotist masterclass with somebody called Anthony Gailey in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. And it was him that actually told me I should become a speaker. And he had some amazing insights and, said I'd find it easy to get booked. But for me, to speak in the UK and use hypnosis, it's quite a hard sale.
Okay.
It really, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting, and people don't realize that hypnosis is the same as influence. So when I go and speak to corporates and companies, I can speak about influence, like no other person can, because I can influence people even to believe they're hypnotized by a dog.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can sort of display that kind of influence, you can pretty much do anything.
Oh, for sure. So where do you see yourself going? Like, what's next? I mean, I feel like in a short amount of time, I mean, you've done it for a while. You've done executive coach and hypnotist. I mean, you've done it for years. But I mean, where do you see it go? What's the purpose behind it?
I've done therapy and coaching and hypnotherapy for 20 years. I've only done it full time since 2015. And where do I see it going? That's interesting. I'd like to get on as many stages as possible and tell people how they can use their minds to achieve what they need to achieve, and that they don't need to suffer things like depression and anxiety, that there is an answer out there. And my talk is all about how we are hypnotized by the world around us. We're hypnotized by the media, we're hypnotized by politicians, we're hypnotized by marketing companies. And we need to take back control of our minds and hypnotize ourselves to follow the route that we need to follow.
Right.
And within my talk, I help people to do that. I give them, that the takeaways are programming your mind for what you want, and how to deflect the negativity that we see in the world, how to, give yourself that shield so that you're not affected by all that negativity that can sort of get you off track. So I suppose that's my mission, really, is to speak to as many people as possible and help as many people as possible with their mental health, with their path to success, to drive, to achieving their goals.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. And it's very needed. We look around the world today and, we're not addressing the root cause. It seems like we're just putting Band-Aids on the symptoms. We need to be addressing the root cause.
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's what it seems to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's different in America. Even hypnotherapists in America seem to get quite a lot of work. And I think that's due to the fact that you guys pay for your medical care. In the UK, we've got NHS. People don't have to pay for the medical care. So hypnotherapy is kind of a last resort for people. But I started out treating anxiety. That is my passion, because I suffered terribly with anxiety. And if you go to doctors for anxiety, what do? They medicate you. And they don't have a clue how to treat it, or they send you to counselling, which, is a very long way to treat anxiety. So I suppose in the long run, I'd like to teach people my method. So I might at some point, start training other therapists how to do what I do.
Right. Yeah.
That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Make that like a 2020 goal. Like in a year, make steps to achieve either portion of that or all of that, or just quantify it.
Yeah, it's something that has been in the back of my mind for a while. I don't feel that I'm ready to do that yet, because I have been investing in my speaking career over the past 18 months, and I'm growing that. So that's my main mission sort of for the next couple of years, is to build that. But then off the back of that, when hopefully I don't have to put as much effort into that, then I would like to, maybe like to teach other people my method so that more people can be helped.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give you the opportunity to do a shameless plug. You can plug your programs, products, services, website, whatever it is that you want the audience to know and to do.
Yep.
Shamelessly plug. Go.
Thank you. If you can go to my website, KrystynaLennon.com, and I think you've got some links on your site.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a shop there. You can buy products that can help you, anything from a fear of flying to making yourself more productive, more confident. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm quite new to LinkedIn, so I'm growing my following on LinkedIn. I'd appreciate you go along to LinkedIn, give me a like, share, follow me, do whatever you do. But just go to my website, find out about me. You can subscribe to my newsletter, and you can get a free relaxation session to try out and keep up to date with my journey and where I'm going and which TV show I'll be on next. I have actually been speaking to a producer in LA, and it looks like I will be doing a TV show over the next few months, but I've just signed a non-disclosure form, so can't speak about it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but it's in the pipeline.
That's awesome. I'm so pumped for your success. So excited for what you have going on, and what a great way to do it. Being a hypnotist and a speaker. Like what a great combination.
Yeah. I mean that's
great.
what we do as speakers. We take people on a journey and we hope to transform them within that 45 minutes that we've got with them. So I just use my skills to do that. Sometimes I actually hypnotize people and sometimes I don't, but I use hypnotic skills within that.
Yeah, well, that's true. So you're an author. Talk about that. How did that come about?
It's basically somebody approached me and asked me to get my methods out there into a book. So I did basically. It's a very short book, but it's my methods. It's how I treat things like anxiety and how we can go about changing our minds by deleting negative beliefs.
By deleting negative beliefs.
Yeah, deleting negative beliefs. So if you have a belief, it's based upon, a belief is a thought that we have consistently. And when you have a thought, it actually releases chemicals into your body. It actually releases hormones into your nervous system. So if you think about something funny, then you'll start to smile or laugh. That isn't a conscious effort. You are smiling or laughing because of the chemicals you have released because of the thought. So your thoughts actually make you feel something. And then when you feel something, you take a different action. So if people change their thoughts, they can change their feelings and their actions. And that's what my whole methodology is based around, how we can change our lives just by changing our thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, changing your thoughts. Absolutely. Yeah. I always say like attracts like. So, if you're having a lot of negative thoughts, then you're going to attract negativity. Yeah. And I tell people that, like, if you feel like your life is just in shambles and, everything's out to get you, and that's because you think it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Try living an abundant life. Try thinking of the world as an abundant world rather than everybody's out to get me.
Yeah, but what happens is with things like anxiety. For instance, if you're scared of getting in a lift, you start to imagine getting in a lift and something terrible happening. So when you
Mm-hmm.
have those thoughts, your mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. That's why we cry at movies, even though it's not real. We don't know the difference between real and imagined. So your body and mind thinks it is actually going through the trauma of getting stuck in a lift or passing out or something like that. It actually thinks that's happening. And people put themselves through false traumas every single day by thinking
Yep.
the worst case scenario. And
Yeah, I've heard that many times. People
yeah,
are so afraid of what could happen. Like it hasn't even happened yet. Like you're freaking out because,
yeah,
like, for example, let's say in a job or like, in the military, man, the boss wants to see you and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much trouble. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. Oh my gosh. And you're like freaking out and stressing yourself out. Like, you don't even know what it's about. Like he just wants to see you. Like,
yeah.
but that's like the most famous one is, somebody's like, oh man, boss wants to see you. You're like, oh crap, I'm getting fired. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like
Yeah.
running yourself ragged because of something that you think is going to happen. You're not even sure.
Yeah, exactly that. And people do this, I hear people that are going into meetings or delivering a pitch and they start to think, oh God, no, I hope I don't pass out. I hope I don't forget what I'm saying. So their mind is thinking, she's forgotten, she's going to pass out. And action stations, it releases things like adrenaline and cortisol. They're
Hmm.
going to make you feel sick. They're going to make you sweat. They're going to make you shake. And you go up there and you're an absolute wreck. Instead of being calm and thinking about the best possible outcome or intention for the meeting, that I am going to show my value, I am going to absolutely blow them out of the water. You very rarely hear intentions like that. Most people's intentions, if you ask them, are things like, I just hope I get through the meeting and remember everything I need to say. And it's such a low intention and outcome.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Absolutely. I never
just
go
to
through
wrap
anything
up,
with an expectation. Never.
right?
I
In
never
what
go through
way?
anything with an expectation. I say, I want this to happen. That's what I
Hmm.
want to happen. Like I want, like when I speak on stage, like I want to get booked from that event to another event. So what do I need to
Hmm.
do? I need to kill it on stage, I need to do this, need to do this, whatever.
Yeah,
Whether it happens or
yeah.
not is irrelevant. I
Hmm.
don't care if it happens or not. I'm
Yeah,
hoping it will. So I take the necessary steps to give me the best possible choice or chance to make that happen.
yeah.
And so,
And
if and we're so afraid of, well, what if it doesn't happen? And then, oh my God, and then I'm gonna get fired, and oh my God, and like we go through these like negative spirals. Like, how about you just get up there and deliver it and see what happens?
yeah,
Like why, like you're not even on stage yet. I'm gonna bomb it. I know it. I'm gonna bomb it. I'm gonna forget. I can't even believe I'm gonna get up there. Oh my gosh, like I can't do this. Like, what are you? Get your butt up there and start doing your thing. Like. So
yeah.
when I get off the stage, whatever happens, happens. But I've already taken the necessary steps to ensure that what my intention is, you
Hmm.
know, has the best possible chance to come to fruition.
Yeah, yeah. And the only way to do that is to program, to release the right kind of chemicals so that you feel good going onto the stage. So instead of having things like adrenaline and cortisol, you want serotonin. So you want to think about thoughts that are going to create serotonin, happy thoughts, strong, confident thoughts, so that you go in there with the right chemicals rattling around your body, your nervous system. But also your intention needs to be really high. The very first show I did was an absolutely disaster. I had to stop the show halfway through. The very first one, behind the scenes, I'd had my head between my knees. I was saying, I'm going to be sick. I don't want to do it anymore. Why did I decide to do this? And I went on stage with the worst possible intentions for the show. And that was that I just hoped that I spoke and was able to do something. And it was a disaster. And after that, I went home and I practiced and practiced and practiced so that the next time I went out, I had such high intentions in my mind that I am going to smash this. These people are going to be hypnotized no matter what. They are going to do what I say, and I'm going to have an amazing show. And that's what happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
The number one fear in the world is public speaking.
Yeah.
And when I'm coaching other speakers, they ask me, well, how do I not be nervous? I'm like, I've been speaking for 10 years. I still get nervous before I go on stage. Like everybody does. But I realign those feelings. So instead of feeling nervous, I feel excited. Instead of feeling anxious, right? Instead of feeling anxious, I just label them as something else. You know, they're about to call my name. Like anxious. I'm not anxious. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, whatever that emotion is. I'm anticipating, here we go. Like, I can't wait. It's like we're going on a road trip. Like, I can't wait to get there. Like, the anticipation. Like, I'm anticipating greatness. Yeah. Like, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to kill it, Yeah. And I just reframe those negative emotions into positive emotions. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm not upset. I'm going to be happy. So.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember feeling really sick before a lot of my gigs, and it's the adrenaline running around your body. And I found, because to disperse adrenaline, you need to move because your body is preparing you for fight or flight. So you need to move. So what I would do is when people introduce me, I try to be quite far away, so that I have to kind of jog up some steps or walk briskly. And that helps disperse the adrenaline, which then helps you to start calming down. And once I started doing that, I saw a real difference in my nerves. As soon as I got the first few words out, I was a lot calmer.
Love it. That is a huge tip.
Yeah, because you can't start doing jumping jacks and jogging on the spot.
Right. I've seen people start in the back of the room, and I've started people, start in the back of the room and start high-fiving people on the way up to the stage, and that's a great way to get people, to share some of that energy and share some of that adrenaline. Very cool.
And that's why they do it, is so that when they get on stage, they've dispersed that adrenaline. It's gone somewhere, because otherwise it's just rattling about in your body. So even if I'm speaking to a small room, I will always stand as far away as possible for when I'm called. And, so I've got sort of a big run up, if you like.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, this was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. I know it's really late over there in the UK, and I wish you the best for the rest of 2019. So glad we could have you on the show today.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right. Life Transformation Radio listeners, an amazing guest impacting the world around her. If anything resonated with you with what we've talked about today, please go to Krystyna, which is Krystyna, Krystyna Lennon, Lennon, KrystynaLennon.co.uk. It's in the show notes. Her Facebook, LinkedIn, right there. Connect with her and let her know that you heard her episode of Life Transformation Radio. And as we close, I always say, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. And I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live a great life.
Thank you.